you so much for joining us. We just had a cutoff there, so I don't know how we're going to be able to put two things up there at the same time. We have active severe weather that is developing in the Midwest right now. There's actually a tornado watch that's in effect. Below that is a severe thunderstorm watch that's in effect, and there have been reports today of tornadoes that have actually touched down, and we have this upper level low that is going to continue to track towards the northeast, and on top of that it will be bringing severe weather, as a matter of fact. The other concern that we're going to talk about is Hurricane Matthew. We'll talk about that more specifically tomorrow during the day, probably in the late evening, but we'll give you an update on that and try and include that in this report as well. So we'll continue to watch the severe weather develop in the Midwest over here, and then we'll watch for more activity. Showers and thunderstorms for southeast lower Michigan, and the severe weather we're watching because that possibly might potentially hit southeast lower Michigan and the Great Lakes, so you want to stay tuned for that, and we'll let you know. It's not saying that in the 7-day forecast, but we'll watch that. Stay tuned. We'll talk about Hurricane Matthew coming up real quick, and that will end our forecast. We'll be right back. But the extended forecast has been canceled because of the two situations that we're dealing with. We'll be right back. And thank you so much for joining me once again. This is meteorologist Eric Tolman. We just wanted to give you a heads up. This is actually an update on the hurricane, and this is going to be the potential days 1 through 3. This is basically going to be the area of concern of where the hurricane is going to hit the Midwest, the U.S. So we're actually going to watch that very closely. Orlando, Florida, you're going to get hit with that, and then it will be making landfall by Saturday, and we'll be watching that closely and see exactly what areas get hit in once it hits that area. So that is going to be a problem. So the other thing we were talking about were extreme winds. Now if it's in the letter M right there, we're going to go ahead and zoom in so you can see that better. If it's in M, that is going to be a concern. There are going to be, hold on, it's trying to get angled, but I don't know why it's so blurry right there. But if it's an M, that means that winds will will be as high as 110 miles per hour. So if you're in that M zone right there, you're likely to see 110 mile per hour winds, and that can do a lot of damage. So look out for that as well. There are hurricane watches and warnings that are also in effect. So the other thing we were also notified is that evacuations have been in place. So a lot of people have been ordered to evacuate the state of Florida. So until this hurricane passes, you're not going to be able to return to those states. So just be aware of that. We'll keep you posted on the hurricane as well, and we'll have more updates to follow tomorrow on the Hurricane Matthew, and behind that is Hurricane Nicole. So we'll track both of them, and we'll let you know where Hurricane Matthew goes after that, and what the impact is going to be for the U.S. This is meteorologist Eric Tolman. We'll see you tomorrow in the morning, but once again, the extended forecast has been canceled due to the two situations that we're dealing with, severe weather in the Midwest